Is it okay?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this meeting for giving me the great opportunity to talk to the elite audience about the personal finance. So my sincere thanks to all of you. All are well versed with personal finance. So we are going to listen to a lot of good topics today. So until 5, we are going to get absorbed in all these topics. See, the topic given to me is a topic which I have not talked so far. That's inflation and its implication. So this is a little difficult topic because inflation involves a lot of theory, a lot of calculation, and a lot of things are there. I've tried to read so many things, but I'm not able to understand all these calculations. Probably I'm weak in mathematics. So I will stick on to what are all necessary for our day-to-day life. We'll stick on only to that. We'll not go into the difficult part because you know very well in the net itself, a lot of calculators are there. Whatever calculation you want to do, you can put it in the net and you can get the calculation. So we need not bother about the calculation part and other things. Now, see, this is the state of affair. See, pediatric practice is slowly coming down. When I started my practice in 1980, only 6 practitioners were there in that particular area where I am practicing. Today, you will not believe there are 160 doctors are there in the same area. So every year in a small place of Tirunelveli, my place is a very small town, we are bringing nearly 12 to 14 MD pediatrics every year. So as the days goes on, the practice is decreasing because number of persons are increasing, specialists, and corporates are coming in, they are grabbing our practice. So many problems are there. So pediatric practice is coming down. But what happens to inflation? It is going on increasing. So our value of the money which we are already saved or saving, it is going to be eaten up by this inflation. So it is inversely proportional. Our practice and inflation has become inversely proportional now. Now, what is inflation? We are going to give some definition. Before going into the definition, I will start with my mother. So when I was a small child, my mother used to tell her life stories. She told that when she was a school children, her mother used to give her 6 paise. Imagine 6 paise, 100 paise is equal to 1 rupee. She used to give 6 paise. In that 6 paise, she used to buy 1 lemon rice, 1 curd rice. Can you imagine for 6 paise? Then when I started my PG course in MMC at Chennai in 1986, every weekend we used to go for a buffet lunch. At the time, the lunch was only 50 or 55 rupees. So when I tell this to my son, when we go for same buffet now, which is 2,000 to 2,400, he can never believe that he was able to take for 50 rupees. This is nothing but inflation. So as the day goes on, the price of the goods, price of the service, they are rising. As the price of what is service? For a mason was charging 600 rupees last year. Today is charging 800 rupees. So services are rising. As these are rising, your value of the money is decreasing. So the rate at which the value of the money is decreasing is called inflation. For example, now the inflation is 6%. What do you mean by 6%? If you're having 100 rupees today, next year your value of money is going to be only 94 rupees. So unless you know how to make it bigger, your money is going to become devalued by 6 rupees. So this is inflation, which we have to think it in our part when we plan our personal finance. Then this small picture denotes what is inflation. In 1988, we were able to buy with $20 a basket full of things. 25, it has come down. 2013, it has still more come down. If you take 2021, you will be lucky if you are able to buy at least one thing in that basket. So this is inflation. So the price is increasing, value of the money is decreasing. Now, let us see what is the cause of inflation. There are various causes for inflation. Number 1, demand versus supply causing inflation. For example, now let us say because of the shortage of chip, automobile industries are coming to a halt. They are not producing cars. Maruti has cut down the production by 60%, but booking are increasing. Booking for a lot of Maruti vehicle is increasing. So demand is more, but supply is less. So what they are doing every month, they are increasing the price, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 rupees, they are increasing. Since the supply is less, demand is more. So this is what is called demand versus supply inflation. Second, cost push inflation. See, as the days pass on, the raw material price is increasing. For example, paint industry, if you take for preparing a paint, you need at least 60 raw materials to produce a paint. So as the raw material price increases, naturally your paint price will also increase. If you take the hotel, when the onion which is selling at 20 rupees becomes 100 rupees, when a tomato which is selling at 30 rupees becomes 100 rupees, naturally they increase the price of the food. So this is the cost, raw material cost, labor cost, they are pushing the inflation. This is second inflation. Third, what is inbuilt inflation? Naturally, there is inflation every year is going on happening, but the above two things, when it occurs, it becomes a permanent inflation. For example, 60 rupees petrol was selling, your auto driver was charging 100 rupees. When it is selling at 100 rupees, he is charging 150 rupees. Even the petrol price comes back to 60 rupees, that fellow is not going to reduce his rate. He is going to charge 150 also. So it has become a permanent affair. So this is what is called inbuilt inflation. So these are all the basic cause for inflation. Now, how to measure the inflation? There are two important parameters. One is wholesale price index, WPI. Another one is consumer price index. Already every day we are seeing in the paper. What is wholesale price index? It is the price of the wholesale goods. Wholesale goods are not sold to the consumer like retailers for us. It is a things which is happening between company to company. A company is supplying iron ore to Tata Steel. From the iron ore, Tata Steel is manufacturing steel rods. If iron ore price is increasing, steel rod price is going to increasing. So this is what is called wholesale price index. So wholesale goods, it is increasing in price. Then consumer price index, your soap is increasing, shampoo is increasing, rice is increasing, dal is increasing. So day-to-day life, these are all increasing. These are all which we are using, retailers are using. So this is what is called consumer price index. So these two parameters are there to measure the inflation. Then, what is going to be the effect of inflation on us? On a common man, what is going to be the effect of inflation? Number one, your purchasing power is going to decrease. For example, you are having 30,000 rupees today, you want to buy a television set. So, but you postpone the purchase to next year. So purchase next year, it has become the price of the television set becomes 33,000 rupees. So your purchasing power is decreasing. Then as the inflation is increasing, the RBI is going to increase the interest rate. When interest rate increases, what is going to happen? Many companies are getting money from banks and other things. When the interest rate is increasing, their profitability will decrease. So naturally, they will raise the price. So in turn, it will also affect in inflation. Then second thing, when the interest rate is increasing, the loans you are getting for your car, your house, all these things will increase. Interest rate of all these things are going to increase, which is indirectly it is going to affect you. Number two, lower savings. So normally we expect 15 to 20% of our carry home pay to be saved. But the price is enormously increased. You are going to spend a lot of money for your day-to-day expenses. So the amount you are going to save is going to become less. Even the amount which you have saved because of inflation, the value of the saving is going to decrease unless you are very careful how to invest that money and multiply the money in a faster manner. Your value of savings is going to decrease. Then you upset your calculation. For example, you think that you can conduct your daughter's marriage with 50 lakh rupees. We are safe. We are having 50 lakhs now. But your daughter's marriage is going to take place after 10 years. At the time, what is going to happen? Your 1 crore will not be sufficient to conduct the marriage. you need at least 2 crores at that time. So your future calculation, unless you are going to take into consideration the inflation, it is going to play a hell. Then altered investment strategy. When inflation is high, naturally people go for investing in real estate and gold. So it is a natural way of investing. When you go for debt investment like this real estate and gold, money going to the industries and development of the country, they are decreasing. So at one day, you will feel that the real estate and gold are not going to give you good returns. So you are shifting your money to a little bad investment from a good investment. So this is altered strategy also happens in the peak of inflation. So these are all the problem with the inflation. Then what have to be careful with the investment versus inflation. See, you invest your money in anything, we don't bother. But only thing, your post-tax returns should beat the inflation. That is the basic point. For example, you are a very careful, conservative investor. You are going to invest in a bank fixed deposit at 5%. What is going to happen to the 5%? After paying income tax at a higher slab of 30%, your 5% is going to be reduced to 3.5%. So you are really getting post-tax returns is only 3.5%. Then inflation is around 6% now. What is happening? You are getting 3.5%, but you are losing 6%. So the money you are losing every year is 2.5%. So in other words, your 100 rupees today, even after investing in a bank deposit, next year its value becomes 97.5 rupees. So this is the real thing. So you have to be very careful. Whatever way you are investing, it should beat the inflation. Otherwise, you are going to lose your money. That is important carry-home point here. Then, now we are going to see inflation is going to play a spoil sport, not only in your savings, in your expense part also. It has got a dual attack on savings and the expense part. I'm going to give some little calculation. Don't bother about the calculation. Simply take the message alone. See how it is going to hit the savings. See here, you are having 1 crore rupees today. Your inflation rate is 7%. What is going to happen to your 1 crore of 10, 15, 25, 30 years? See, there are some calculation is there, and there is, I have given a division factor. If you divide that amount with this factor, that will give the money. You need not go into the calculation. For example, your 1 crore after 10 years, 1 crore divided by division factor 2 is 50 lakhs. So after 10 years, your money value is only 50 lakhs. Similarly, 15 years, 36 lakhs, 25 years, 18 lakhs, 30 years, 13 lakhs. So 1 crore you are having today, unless you invest, it is going to become 13 lakhs after 30 years. So this is the effect of inflation on the savings. Then what is the effect of inflation on the expense part? So let us have a small example. The division part here, you have to make it as a multiplication part. So today a child higher education costs 20 lakh rupees. Then what will you need? What will the amount of money you will need after 10, 15 or 25 years? Same thing, after 10, 25, 10, 15, 25 years, or how much you need? Today you need 20 lakhs. See, corpus needed after 10 years is 40 lakhs because multiplication factor is 2 here. So 20 into 2, 40 lakhs. So after 15 years, for the same education, you need 56 lakhs. If it is going to be 25 years, the same 20 lakh education is going to cost 1.28 crores. So inflation is playing a spoil sport, not only on your savings, but on the expense part also, it is having a play. Then, this is the inflation calculation formula. I will not go into the detail because you need not break your head. So everything you feed in the net, it will give you the value. There is no need for you to understand and go into the details. Then, we have seen about inflation, how inflation occurs, how it is affecting our expense, how it is affecting our income, and all these things we have seen. Now we are going to see how to beat the inflation. If you want to beat the inflation, you have to understand the power of compounding, very important thing. Then you must understand what is the need to start saving life earlier in life. See, I was very much annoyed by the youngsters when they start entering into their, profession, in 2-3 years, many of them buy very high-ended cars like BMW, Volvo, which cost 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. What is the need to spend a lot of money in unnecessary luxury things like that? When you become a busy practitioner, you earned a lot, you go for BMW, Volvo, or something like that. No botheration. When you start your life, why not you be careful in saving and spending? So need to start saving earlier in life, very important. Then beware of fixed income securities like fixed deposit, post office scheme. They give very low interest. By investing in these things, you can never beat the inflation. So a very important thing, youngsters, please never invest in fixed deposits. If you ask your parents are well versed only in few things like fixed deposit, gold, real estate. They will be advising only this because we get our formal financial education only from our parents. There is no clear source of education for us in finance. So never go near the fixed income securities, though if you are very young. Then you invest your money wisely in mutual funds, which we are going to see detail later on. Then you enter into business. If you are entering into business, it's difficult for you. Indirectly entering into business, if you buy the shares of Asian Paints, you are owner of the paint company. If you're owner of a Maruti Suzuki, so enter into shares, investing in shares, enter into business. So these are all some 5 points to beat the inflation. I'll tell 1 or 2 points in detail. The power of compounding is very important. Albert Einstein called it as the 8th wonder in the world. It is nothing. Today, you are investing 1,000 rupees in a bank or in something. Next year, you are getting 10% interest. So next year, you will be getting 100 rupees. You are again investing that. So second year, you are going to invest 1,100 rupees. So you are going to get the interest for this 1,100 rupees in the second year. So this is going on increasing as the years goes on increasing. And it becomes a huge corpus. To a small example, if you are going to invest 15,000 rupees every month for 15 years, and you are going to invest it at 15% interest, total amount of money you are investing is 27 lakh rupees. That becomes 1 crore. But instead of that, you are investing for 30 years instead of 15 years. So the amount you are investing is instead of 27 lakhs, 54 lakhs. How much corpus you are going to accumulate? You will say that to 2 crores. No. For 15 years, it is 1 crore. If it is going to extend as a 30 crores, it is 10 crores. 30 years, it is 10 crores. So huge sum. As the years increasing, your corpus is going to enormously increase. So this is power of compounding. Then, why should you start to save earlier in life? See, A and B are there. A 25 years, B 35 years. A is saving 10,000 every year, B is 15,000 every year. They are investing 15% in a mutual fund. Up to 55 years, they are saving same year. Total amount saved by both are only 36 lakh, equal. But only thing, A has started to save earlier in life. He has accumulated a corpus of 7 crores. But B has started to, a little later, 10 years later only he has started to save. But he has earned only around 3 crores. See the difference. 10 years is going to make this much difference. That is the power of compounding. So only I am telling youngsters, don't waste money in luxury. Try to save earlier in life. In the middle part of life, not older part I am saying, middle part of life, you make all the entertainments, all the luxuries for middle part of life. Then we are coming to the final part. What is the carry home message? See, when you start your personal finance, you must have a clear goal. What are the short-term goals? Like buying a car, buying a house, these are all short-term goals. What are the long-term goals? Your child education, child marriage, retirement, very great thing, retirement. These are all long-term goals. First, define what is a short-term goal, what is a long-term goal. To fulfill these goals, how much you need today. If the inflation is going to be 6%, At the end of the goal period, how much you needed, you first calculate that also. So whenever you calculate the amount that is needed to fulfill the goal, take into consideration the inflation. Then you invest in anything. I don't say this one, that one, but the post-tax return should be the inflation. If it is going to be less than the inflation, never invest that thing. Then more than say everybody is saving, that is no problem at all. But the problem here for us, especially for the doctors, the investing properly is lacking. So you must know where to invest, how to invest, which gives higher interest rate, how to make money grow quickly. So all these things you have to learn. Then you just remember this point. When you invest in such a way that your returns are 14.5% or more, your money is going to double every 5 years. So unimaginable proportion to double. Just to see that you get at least 14.5% every year. So your money is going to double every year. So at the end of when the time which you are going to come to, retirement, you are having a large corpus. Then you are trying to attain financial independence very early. See, even at the age of 65, I don't know whether I have got adequate corpus, I can retire. Still, I am in doubt. But don't have that doubt. You try to retire at the age of 50 or 55. What do you mean by financial independence? It is nothing. The amount that the returns coming from your investment can take care of your expenses, even though there is no job for you. That means you attained financial independence, you can retire. Try to retire at the age of 50. When I say retire at the age of 50, I don't say you don't practice. You can go for practice, but don't go for practice for the sake of earning. For the love of our profession, you go to the practice, not for earning. Imagine if you retire at the age of 50, what things you can do. You can write books, you can read books, you can travel abroad, you can spend time with your spouse, children. The greatest happiness for a man like me is spending time with the grandchildren. You'll have a lot of time. So basic for all these things, understand what is inflation, how it is going to play a spoil sport, how to invest properly, how to multiply your money in a good way. If you learn these things from today's workshop, I think all of us can retire at the age of 50. Not me. I'm not retired at the age of even 65, but all of you can retire at the age of 50. You can lead a happy life. Everyone is living happily. Why not us to live happy? Our children, what sin they have committed, they are not spending time with them. My son has not gone to medical profession because he told me one day, the opposite house engineer, he comes in the evening and plays with his son. You never turned up in the evenings, so I will never take up medical profession. He is his original word when he told at the age of 7 or 8 years. How our children are suffering. Why should they suffer? Because they are born to a great doctor. You may be a famous man in the town, but what for you, for your spouse and children? You are nothing, you are zero for them unless you spend time with them. So let us be careful with our investment. We'll spend more time with our family. We'll enjoy life. You are entitled to enjoy life. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kolundu, for the wonderful session. It is indeed an eye-opener. And it's very important that we spend quality time with our spouses and children. As